Hello, Shrewdness fans. Welcome to the podcast today.
Woo!
They say that imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yes.
So I had to go with my PM15 get up tonight.
God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you. And that's
We
what
are
we're
going
playing,
to
what
talk
we're
a lot
doing.
about the Chiefs and their victory this last weekend, their march to the Super Bowl, their third in a row, making history,
First time ever.
all the good things.
Yep.
First time ever. So, as always, Dex, Chiz, and Lou joining me. I'm Prue. We are the Shrewdness. Guys, let's jump into it. What do you think in the games this weekend?
All right, well, let's get rid of the one that Lou doesn't want to talk about first.
All right.
So we'll hit it and quit it. So
Yeah.
Philly, Washington. So Big Lou went in. He's like, he's feeling money line. We decided to take the points. He called us little biatches offline for being cowards for not doing the money line. We're like,
Why
"Oh."
didn't you guys do the
If you
money
would have
line?
listened
I
to
said
our
money line.
episode, like we were actually on Philly.
We were.
But we are true to our shrewdness bets, and we're like, whatever. So we bet what we weren't even believing,
We did.
and we
We
lost.
made the call. We
We
did
the
it.
call, but
We did it.
we laid out all the points. If you want to hear what those were last week, about an hour into the pod, we talked about Philly.
Yep.
And, essentially it boiled down to chase the stink, and everybody's all fired up for Washington. They're going to come in and upset. Wow, 55-23 later, that did not come to fruition. Their turnovers that they were getting at will earlier in the playoffs were going against them. They were getting the ball just taken away like you're playing with your little kids. Like, I'll take the football now. That's my ball. And, then Saquon Barkley. I think that's really the takeaway there is
He's so good.
first play of the game from scrimmage for Philly. What was it, 55 yards or something like that?
Yeah.
Just
It was more than that,
housed
wasn't
it
it?
from midfield.
I know he had three runs for 61 yards and 2 touchdowns to start the game.
Yeah, it was the Saquon show. I mean, he came there to win a Super Bowl. He's doing everything he can to do so.
I mean, it's kind of what we knew, right? Like Washington was living a charmed life. They Daniels is legit. He's a really really good quarterback. I think he's a franchise guy. It seems like, at least after 1 year. But like we knew they had no defense. We knew that.
All right.
They had nobody on defense.
But
Who's
the
defense?
thing is, it's always best if you aren't sure, which I was not, is to match up the quarterback and the head coach, the two most important people.
Yeah.
And I
right.
felt that I had less faith in Hurts than Jaden Daniels. And that actually bore out. Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback in the game.
Right.
And then Sirianni, we all think he's a moron, and I think Dan Quinn is at least half competent. So that was my thought. Now, at the same time,
Saquon.
everything broke poorly. Like it was, I don't think that game is like 10 out of 10 times. That's not a 55-23 game. All right?
Totally agree.
That was like 1 or 2 out of 10 times it's that bad.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. I think there was a high degree of variability, and I thought it was a reasonable play to take the highly variable position where they did not turn over the ball every time they flippin' touched it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what can you do? Like, once you've turned over like 3 times in the first half, just pack it in, which they did.
They did.
We did.
That's right.
So we did talk last week that it was either going to be a really close game that Washington, squeaked out with a field goal, or it was going to be an Eagles blowout. And
We were right about the blowout part.
like you said, Lou, it could have gone a lot differently if they play that game 10 times.
Yeah.
Chances are Washington wins with 3 to 4 of them. So
My take on it is just when you go roster spot by roster spot, like I think quarterback is the only position they win going straight down the list.
That's probably right.
And
Actually,
I don't even know.
I can't think of another position that.
I know I was
they
trying
would.
to. I was like, well,
Maybe
McLaurin-
tight end. Maybe.
McLaurin will be second or third. I mean, he's really good, but AJ Brown.
I mean, what?
If you actually
tight end,
throw to him,
maybe?
and they
Ertz.
did this time. They actually did throw to him. Yeah, and then Saquon versus Brian Robinson. Stop.
Yeah.
I mean, this is dumb. And
Yeah,
I mean, the Philly line, all 5, better
Right.
than all 5. Defensive line, all 4, better than the 4.
Here's the thing.
Linebackers, Bobby Wagner is awesome, but that's it.
Here's what's crazy. If you look at this Philly team, and we'll talk about it next week more when we
Yeah.
talk about previewing him, but you look at this Philly team, like talent-wise, it's stupid. They should be killing everyone. They should be destroying everyone. Like, they have so much talent. It's absurd that they've lost the games that they've lost and that they've, looked as bad as they've looked. Like, I get back to Lewis's coaching point.
Yes, I was going to say.
Sirianni is a freaking fool. If you give Andy Reid this roster, he's beating people by 30. It's crazy.
Yeah. And as much as we rip on Jalen Hurts, because we do, we like it.
Deservedly so.
2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Man.
He's a wiener. He's a wiener.
Win, but
yeah, according to what we were looking at, 2 Super Bowls lifetime puts you in conversation for Hall of Fame.
Didn't we say wins, though?
No, it's just, 2 puts you in the conversation. 2 won't guarantee you, regardless of win-loss.
Well, has anybody gone and lost? Well, Kelly.
Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
John Elway lost before he won.
That's true.
Well, Elway went to that's the thing, is it's all about going to Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And if you
Marino only went to the 1, right?
Yeah.
If you go to 2 and win 1, you are like 60% in the Hall of Fame or something. It's one of those is what's Russell Wilson.
Yeah, so that's a great question. If Hurts wins this Super Bowl,
if he wins a Super Bowl, he is almost assuredly a Hall of Famer, and that's just how the numbers go.
Which is kind of insane because he's not
Yeah.
good.
I don't know if that's true. Trent Dilfer is nowhere near that conversation.
How many Super Bowls did he start? How many Super Bowls did he start, John?
Just the 1. Dang it.
Just the 1. I went through all this. I went through this, right, guys? I did a deep dive on this.
Yeah, it's 2.
Two.
If you go to 2, it puts you highly likely. If you win 2, you're almost assuredly.
Because
but if you
Eli,
go to 2,
Eli went to 2 and won 2.
And he's going to probably be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He probably will be.
Well, that's
God, he wasn't even that good, really.
And he was slightly above average quarterback.
Yeah, every year he was like 6.
Go do the exercise.
32.
There's a whole Wikipedia page on this, and you can pull all of how many Super Bowls has a quarterback been to, and it just pulls up, and it's just So if you go 2-3, you're automatic Hall of Famer. If you win 2, you're basically, I think, almost automatically a Hall of Famer. But if you start in 2, just starting in 2,
so it's not even if
you at least enter the conversation.
Because even if you just win 1, you're probably not, because you got the Dilfer, you got Doug Williams. He didn't get in the Hall of Fame, did he? Doug Williams didn't get in the Hall of Fame.
Doug Williams was only starter for 1 Super Bowl.
No, that's what I mean. I'm saying that 2 appearances is better than 1
huge.
win.
And the people who went to 2 and either lost 2 or split it, who haven't made the Super Bowl, are all old for the most part.
Yeah, way old, right?
But yeah, Kurt Warner, he was in 2 Super Bowls, won 1, lost 1, Hall of Famer. No question. So
wow, that's crazy to think about.
Hurts will be the first modern era player if he loses to actually not be 70s era quarterback. He would be an absolute anomaly because you just don't see that anymore. To go to and lose 2 Super Bowls at this
because there's just nobody who would if you just ask somebody today, Jalen Hurts Hall of Fame, they're gonna say no, right?
He's gonna be borderline just by starting. It's all about starting into Super Bowls.
But here's what I think let me know what you think about this comp. This team, Hurts is probably better than Trent Dilfer, but I still think it's kind of like the Jamal Lewis and the Saquon Barkley and a good defense. I think it's that number 1 defense and a phenomenal running game, which is exactly what the Ravens did when they went and won it with Jamal Lewis. It was Trent Dilfer in a pile of trash, and then Jamal Lewis, who just thunder punched. He had 2,000 yards that season. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
This defense isn't that good, though.
I'm just saying, that was a historic defense.
Good, that was obviously one of the best all time, but this one's number 1 in the league.
Yeah, I don't know what else you want. Football has changed so demonstrably since 2000. It's been almost 30 years.
It's a good question.
Rules
have
changed.
Comp? Who's another comp for him? I can't think.
Modern era, it doesn't exist. Offense has been too dominant. Because the rule changes.
1-yard touchdowns, which never existed before.
Yeah. Yep.
You used to hand it off to your running back. And you could do some sneaks, but you weren't getting 16 QB sneaks a season. I mean, that's just dumb.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I don't know about
I don't know if there's anybody I can't think of a team that I would comp them to. They seem like a unique beast.
Yeah. And, man, they can be – we just saw what the best version of them can look like, too. So
yeah,
AJ Brown,
but if they hit on all cylinders, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And if the other team turns the ball over.
Yeah, I mean, it always helps getting 4 times as many possessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
That does make it easier to put up points.
Which, generally speaking, in the playoffs, you win the turnover battle, you win the game. Unless you're playing the Chiefs. And it doesn't matter.
That's it, because the fix is in. Let's go ahead and transition over to the fixed game.
Yeah, because the fix is in.
Yeah, and the thing is, because it's fixed, I've just been putting my mortgage on the Chiefs' money line
every time.
Every
Why not?
single year, every playoff game for, I don't know, seasons now. And that's how I know the fix is in, because I now have a mansion and a yacht.
So that's the one response I have to people. So if you know the fix is in, why are you not betting everything
take advantage
on the Chiefs? All right, who's the fool now? Who's the fool now? If you think the fix is in, that's one thing. Here's the second thing I have to say. Okay, I'm so fired up. I have been fed by X the last 3 days. I've just
fueled by hatred.
I've just been like soaking in it. I've been marinating in the hate.
Even slowly pixelated, you look like you're marinating.
That was, yeah.
Pixelating. I'm pixelating.
Imagine marinating in Minecraft.
If you were in Minecraft and you were being pickled in a jar, that's what I've been doing in the hate. I'm just pickling in the
stewing.
hate. And
all right, here's a fork. I'm pulling you out of the jar. What do you got for me?
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking.
Steep pickle.
Here's what I realized after seeing all this hate. Okay, there's only a logical person can only come to 2 realizations on this. Okay,
oh, you already started with logic.
The first realization is that the Kansas City Chiefs, the NFL is rigged. Okay, this is realization 1. NFL is rigged.
Absolutely.
For this realization to be true, the other 31 owners have to be on board with letting the Chiefs win. So they're like, yeah, we want the Chiefs to win. Let's do that for 3 years in a row. Then they have to, since 2018, penalize the Chiefs more than any other team. Okay? Which is true. So the refs, part of the fix, they have actually penalized the Chiefs more than any other team since 2018. Number 1 in all the NFL. And then they have to time the calls for the most crucial moments in a game. So they wait. And there's a coordination among the refs, and there's a head referee somewhere in New York, and he's like,
that's right.
It's now, guys. It's the 4th and 1 play. It's now.
4th and 1.
Now, right?
It's borderline. Put Chris Jones's head right in the way.
Let's hope it's borderline. Let's hope it's borderline so we can screw him. Okay? So that's theory 1. Okay?
Yep, and I need 1 ref to run right, 1 ref run left.
Yes.
We're really going to F them up on this one.
So that's
and also have 100% fidelity with the refs to never rat the rest of the refs out, right?
Nobody rats. So all the owners are on board. All the calls go against the Chiefs except for the Korean ones. All the refs are on board. So that's option 1.
All 1,500 players in the league, all of them are on board.
So that's option 1. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that's option 1, okay? Here's the other option. What you're watching is the most incredibly clutch team in the history of the NFL. You're watching greatness unfold. You're seeing things you've never seen before. You've seen 17 straight 1-score games go in the direction of a team.
The fixed team.
It's just improbable. So in your head, you go, what I'm seeing is impossible. It's absolutely impossible that all this is happening. So I can see where people say it's impossible because what you're watching is greatness and you don't see greatness. So your mind can't absorb it. So I used to be angry at these people. I used to be angry about them. Now I feel sorry for them because what they can't do is absorb the greatness they're watching. It's like their brain just goes, I can't win. It's got to be a fix. It's a fix. So all they do is just say, fix. It's got to be fixed because that makes their brain rest a little bit because they go, oh, God, it can't be that this person is that great. It can't be that I've never seen anything like this before.
It has to be
cheating.
be
a fix.
No one's this good.
I've gone from anger to pity for these people. Anger to pity.
to tack on to that in the same exact vein, cousin Sal, Against All Odds Network through the Ringer, is a great point. It's like you kind of have to choose one side to believe or another. And if you believe in the whole like refs fixing everything, how miserably awful is the sport?
It's horrid.
Yeah.
Right? If you really believe that, and you're really kind of rooting for this to be the thing, this is like worse than pro wrestling. Like,
why would you watch
wrestling, baby?
Why would you watch?
Culture.
Right.
Why would you watch?
Because even if you don't believe it, you want to root for the refs to be doing a reasonable job, because at least that will feel better in the long run for how you spend all your time.
Why would Las Vegas allow people to bet on the games?
Yes.
If this was a fixed contest.
So the deal is, like, I get the hate because I get the hate because I hated the Patriots. I hated
them. They didn't cheat. They didn't cheat. They didn't have the rents in their pockets.
They actually did cheat.
That's all documented. That's all real. Don't you start mixing metaphors, son.
That's all real. I hated
Don't go down that road.
I hated Alabama. I hated the Bulls.
The evil
Empire.
I
hated the Yankees. It's natural when your team isn't that team to hate the team that's winning, because you're like, this sucks. Why did the rest of us get anything? We need to win some. Let everybody else win some. I get it. And it hasn't been until my team has been that team that I've realized, like, I've missed out. I didn't appreciate Michael Jordan because I just hated him so much. I hated him winning all the time, and I didn't want to see it anymore. And I should have just been like, this is incredible. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen, that this guy continues to win. I should have just been like, this. How does this happen? But I couldn't do it. So I want to encourage everyone out there. Just appreciate the greatness. You're seeing something that's never happened before. You're seeing someone go to a third Super Bowl after winning 2. It's literally never happened before. You're seeing someone who, like, no matter what the score is, no matter how much time there is left, he's going to put on this incredible show. He's going to pull something out of his arse directly, and you're going to be like, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I can't wait to see this. It's like going to a magic show in Vegas. You just sit back and go, oh, this is going to be great. I can't wait to see what happens. Like, just love it. Just love it.
Except Tom Brady did cheat a whole bunch and was kind of the worst person in the world.
Well, that was proven. That's different.
Yeah, I mean, that was proven.
Yeah.
That was proven. I mean,
and the defense carried him.
Totally. Absolutely. So that's my rant. That's my rant for today. I think it's accurate. I understand the hatred. Boy, it's amazing to me.
That was some good pickled hate.
All of the things that have
to, when Bo Nix takes the torch, right, and becomes the next Pat Mahomes, okay, you're going to be like, oh no, this is great. I love the Broncos being great again.
Focus on the greatness of Bo Nix.
Focus on the greatness. Now, if it's the Broncos or the Raiders, I feel like there's a different category. That feels like it's a different. Like, it doesn't feel like you.
So you empathize more strongly with the Broncos hate.
Totally. I get the Broncos fans and the Raiders fans that hate us, because I hated those Broncos teams that were winning. Elway.
Yeah.
I freaking hated those teams.
Boy, Schlereth has become just insufferable.
Yeah,
that dude has gotten his face out there, and he has become an incredibly sour.
You got the tinfoil hat on.
Yeah.
I mean, accurate, but yeah, he is a strange character because he's like dropped all impartiality. He just said, forget it. I'm just going to be like,
right. Yeah.
The hater.
Y'all, Pruitt, you weren't even, you were still in college, I think, but they used Schlereth and that offensive line took out living in Kansas City. I'm talking about living in Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
Before I was in Kansas City.
Schlereth and those linemen, when they won the Super Bowls, took out billboard ads showing off their rings and put them around Kansas City.
Yeah, that was before my time here, I think.
I don't remember that.
Hey, I forget, Lou. I forget. How many in a row did they win, that team?
2.
I think they were 2, right? They didn't win 3, obviously. We know that.
97, 98.
They're another two-peat.
Did they go to a third?
Didn't even.
I forget. Did they go to the one after the 2?
No.
No.
Oh,
that was it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Nope.
never happened.
But that's the reason why Stink Schlereth acts like a Yahoo.
Well, and Troy Aikman.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, could you hear just the vitriol and hate
No.
coming through
The
his
Gene
feet?
Steratore thing is okay. We need to address this. Okay,
Let's address the
because
Gene Steratore.
everybody
Good
loves
Lord.
to be like, even Gene Steratore
Oh.
agreed that he got the first down.
Why?
Y'all,
Yeah.
if I could go through and pull stats, I have literally not once in my life heard Gene Steratore ever feel like a controversial call should have gone the Chiefs' way.
Ever.
0% of the time.
Ever.
I would try to look it up while we're talking.
Ever.
No, it's
He is-
zero, man. You don't have to look anything up. Well,
He
I'll
hates
say
the
that.
Chiefs.
I mean, the camera view is something like this, right? And
Yes.
he's
That's
like,
exactly
well,
what it was.
I think he got it by at least 3/4 of the football.
No, that was it. No, it wasn't even 3/4. It was a third.
A third of the football.
I think he
yeah.
got it by the front third of a foot. Oh, do you, Gene? Do
How,
you?
how could you tell when this was your view, like everyone else in America?
Yeah. Just unreal.
The posting that people are doing right now of that shot, they're like, look, he clearly got it, but there's no ball. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yes, and if you show the opposite side, it really looks like he does not get it. But
yes,
Yeah,
They don't
Right.
want that angle. Keep going to the one that looks like it.
it's. I mean, there's hundreds of close calls every week in the NFL.
every week.
Yeah,
that was
and
a
they
big one.
reviewed the bejesus out of it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what you want.
That's why they have the replay rule, and they can't all go against the Chiefs.
And let's
Yes.
go with the other super controversial play. Well, one of the
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy phenomenal. Was it a catch? I don't know, and I really don't care because it was holding.
No.
Oh.
Yeah,
It doesn't
It
even
was automatic
matter.
first
Again.
down anyway.
okay, the Chiefs scored 7, the Bills scored 6. All right, so like it's a 1-point differential there. Let's say they get the 5-yard holding penalty, milk the clock, and kick a field goal. They gain 2 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Like
so
no one
it
thinks
probably
about
was
that.
a break for the Bills in the long run.
for sure.
save time for sure.
Yeah, I got more time.
It absolutely got him more time, and
So full disclosure, I have my doubts that was a catch. But
well, I don't know.
they
that
called
was
it a catch?
either. But here's
Yeah.
the deal: the thing that people are asking. So simultaneous
It can
possession
touch the
is
ground.
true. What people are complaining about is a touching the ground, and what people
Yeah.
don't realize is in the rules, it doesn't
can't.
say the ball can't touch the ground.
It just
says
can't
the
move
ball
after it
can't
does.
Move after it touches the ground, and it did not move. You cannot show me something that shows
Yeah.
the ball
They haven't
moving
yet.
after the ball
They
was.
just keep
No, that's a
showing
good-
it on the ground. I'm like,
that's a good point.
so what?
doesn't move. It
Yeah.
doesn't move. So that was another call. Which one was it? Was that the one that they, by the way, that a play was run and then they let the Bills
It
challenge
was.
the previous play? I'm
Which
like,
is what I
wait,
said too.
what-
Like,
what
how did
kind
they
of
run
rule
the
is
play
this?
already? Yeah.
we ran a play and then they're like, oh wait, remember a couple plays ago the Bills would have challenged that play, so we're gonna let them do that.
He eventually threw it after the play didn't work the next time
Like, is that not insanity? Like,
Yeah.
how does no one complain about that?
on 2nd and goal. Like,
Yes.
what the deuce? And
Yeah,
I still don't know if it got thrown in time. All we have is nasal cam throwing Sean McDermott's flag out. Like, I don't know where it was in the field. I don't know what the time was. It looks
Yeah,
like
it
he threw
shows
it out in
him-
the middle of the play to me.
I know
Right?
it did look like he just
Just gonna, like,
nonchalant,
No.
toss it out there and no context on.
Let's see if it, oh wait, did we run a play? Let's go back and do that one. So there's that one. There's also on the touchdown, which I don't know if you guys have seen this, the Bills touchdown, where their left tackle jumps like half a second early to start that play. I don't know if you guys have seen that video,
Yep.
but that was like a clear penalty that was not called.
Yeah.
So we could do this stupid game all game because at the end of the day, like we've all watched football. The Shrewdness fans have all watched football their whole lives. Like there's a penalty on every play.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
I promise you there's a penalty on every play.
If you had whatever 11 referees to each watch each pair of dudes
It's a penalty
jostling
every
against
play.
each other every play, you could call something.
It's a
Yeah.
penalty on every play. So the thing is like people get upset about these little bit of, you know, the one everyone really lost their mind over was the Josh Allen, you know, sneak play. But like, has
Yeah, it is.
anyone thought, or has anyone even managed to bring up one time, like, how stupid are the Bills? They have tried this. They've tried this play over and over and over and over again the whole game.
And it doesn't work.
It didn't work ever.
Yeah.
And they kept calling it. And I was like,
this time it'll work.
Like, it's not like it wasn't like the Eagles tush push that was like guaranteed.
Yeah,
it
they
wasn't
get 3
getting
yards
it
to
all.
play on that thing.
They weren't even running the right tush push. They didn't even have anybody pushing. It was the stupidest play I've ever seen. Like, I mean,
yeah, the goal line was a bad one. Like, there's a ton of this. I don't know why that was the call so many times.
Guys,
like,
I gotta let you know there's a change.org petition out there to boycott NFL games until adequate officiating fairness measures are implemented.
That's good.
All right, guys, how many signatures do they have?
Probably got at least
thousands.
22.
I mean, how many people are in Buffalo?
Right? 22.
513 signatures as of Tuesday evening.
Nice.
Well,
That
I'll
thing's
tell you
catching
what.
fire.
They're showing that NFL. They're kicking the NFL in the hiney on that one.
Yeah, I love all the
gotta be
dudes.
sweating
Well,
their
513 of
Super
those
Bowl
people.
ratings.
My favorite dudes, and it kind of goes with your point, Chiz. Like, I'm gonna boycott the NFL now.
Yeah,
I'm just not
you
gonna
are.
watch this anymore. I'm like, sounds good, bro. Don't watch.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia. It's
Where
like,
the
who
good Lord
cares?
split you.
Yeah, like whatever.
Because you know the NFL's like, listen, I am in advertising. There is nothing that comes close to the NFL ratings. Like, not in the same stratosphere. Okay?
Right.
Like a regular season NFL game beats the crap out of everything else.
Yeah, it trucks playoffs, baseball.
Like Eagle, like you can pull Saints Jaguars and more people are watching it.
Yeah. At this point, boycotting the Super
parlays
Bowl
going.
is a drop in the ocean because it's billions of people are watching.
It's absurd.
Absurd number of people
Yeah.
are watching it.
Like it's an absurd notion. But let's talk about this. Let's talk back to the game. Lewis, you live with a Bills fan. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
but you live with a Bills
house
fan.
divided.
I will say I have a lot of respect for the Bills fan base for the most part, as
you?
opposed to like the Eagles fan base or
Ravens.
The Ravens fan base, who are just pure
Bengals.
trash. Bengals fan base, they're awful people. Like the Bills and the Chiefs have a mutual respect. There's like a fan, like of course there's bad apples.
It's eroding, but yes, there's it's eroding. It's gotten worse over the last couple of years.
Well,
of course,
it's not our fault he can't beat the Chiefs.
It's not our fault that he keeps losing.
I mean,
but
we just show up and play the game.
That said, where does Bills Mafia stand on the Sean McDermott issue?
Have you spoken since Sunday, by the way? Do we even want to ask this question?
Oh, we're good. Yeah, we can't talk about it though. It's really awkward.
That's fair.
So she could watch videos. She tonight she was watching a video of Josh Allen's end of season presser. I don't know. I think Bills fans are a little bit it's tough because Josh Allen just in his end of season presser was like, I have 100% confidence in Sean McDermott, and it's like, well, if Josh wants it, what are you going to do? Like, what do you do?
Well, you know what? They didn't lose 55-23.
That's right.
Right.
No.
That game could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're playing against the greatest team of all time potentially,
Every
and you
Chiefs
lost
Bills
by
game
a field goal.
is a freaking mess, and it's always a field goal game at the end, and everybody wants to commit seppuku. It's just it's the worst. I know everybody else in America was like, "What a fun game to watch! This is so exciting!" And then the rest of us are just like, "It's like the worst. I hate this. I'm gonna lose. Just texting me, we're cooked. I'm like, yes, it's over. There's no chance we can win this game. And we were up."
So throw away the Denver game. The only team that beat the Chiefs this year was the Bills, right?
Yeah.
So
and
that's worth something.
Not on a stupid tush push that game. They let Josh Allen run right and just out because he's running with Bolton. We've already said the weakness of Bolton is running with the quarterback. So why would you not just do the same thing?
So
I got another hot take. I heard somebody angry. This long story.
They're all angry.
But it was, why didn't the Bills have a spy on Patrick Mahomes? Right? Oh my gosh, why don't they have a spy on him? Do you understand the hell on earth he's going to wreak if you take a person out of coverage and put it on him? Okay, cool. He's going to absolutely murder you.
Right.
You better keep those 40 yards in check.
You need to have everybody doing all of their jobs and then do your best to try to cover a very slow scramble.
I mean, you do need a guy to cover the 5'6", 40 dude who's going to be running up the middle. Like, I mean, seriously, what kind of? So here's what if I'm a Buffalo.
But yeah,
fan,
I think that was one of the dumbest takes ever.
I got a hot take.
Please.
I got a hot take.
Put a spy on him.
If I'm a Bills fan, here's my hot take. I got James Cook. What in the world? Where was James Cook? Is phenomenal. He was phenomenal back.
Killing us too.
I have a feeling he was hurt. My guess is he was hurt. There's it does nothing else make sense.
Because you've got James Cook, you're not handing James Cook the ball on the 1 yard
all the time.
Like you've got 4th and 1, you've got James Cook. You've got 3rd and 1, you've got James Cook. You're on the goal line, you got James Cook. That last drive, James Cook wasn't even in the game. I don't think. It was insane.
So I didn't think about that, Lou, but that makes some sense that he was hurt or something.
He's been hurt all year, off and on, and he's been running only like 60. You guys know this. Every one of you had Cook on a fantasy team.
I know. That's what I'm telling you.
This was the distribution for him all year long. They kept the same distribution.
It was. Yeah. And the thing is, like, every single time they went down on a gotta go get it drive, it was always Ty Johnson because he's their official pass catching guy. Even though James Cook's really good out of the backfield, he does drop a few. And Ty Johnson probably is the better receiver.
Care. If I'm the defense and I'm Spags, I'm much more concerned when you have James Cook in the backfield.
Absolutely. I mean, he has some big runs.
It looked pretty dicey there. Like third quarter, I was like,
they were dicing us,
running over us.
Yeah, I thought
running over us at will.
Like at that drive in the third quarter, they were at-willing us on the ground, and I was like, "This
5
is
yards
bad.
of carry."
I mean, this is why I'm so worried about Saquon Barkley because you know, how many times this year have the Chiefs allowed a 100-yard rusher? Right?
Yeah,
not too many.
Right?
0.
Yeah.
Was it 0?
0. Yeah, all these games, like, oh my God, you know. Oh wait, no, Mixon in that Houston game. I'm sorry, I think that was the one time.
I think you might be right. I think Mixon may have gone over Hundy.
Yeah, most of the time.
And I think Lamar Jackson went over Hundy in the first game.
Running backs. I'm talking running backs. Nope, Mixon did. Mixon had 18 for 88.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
I mean, I did not obviously. I don't even look at the Denver score, so I should probably double check.
That doesn't count.
No. Bo Nix had 47 yards, so they didn't even have a running back. So I'm just saying, primary running back.
Yeah.
The only rusher was, but that was like a whole thing. Like the quarterbacks like actually ran because the Chiefs had like the Chiefs and the Eagles have essentially the same average yards per game as like 104. They're like essentially identical. I was looking it up. But when it comes to the primary running back, the best people it would do is like 80 yards. So
no, you're not wrong.
Cool. If you hold Saquon to like 150 or less, it's Chiefs win by 10. Right. Like there's just no way.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about the next level chess that the Chiefs were playing. So I've been watching videos of breakdowns, and number one on the So two things, and we could talk both of them. We'll start with the offense. Let's start with the offense. We pulled plays out and formations out in that game that we had not used all year. Like, who does this?
I'm telling you. Yeah, Andy Reid. I'm telling you, there's a playoff playbook somewhere in Andy Reid's office.
There is. Do you think Steve Spag, or do you think Nick Sirianni has a playoff playbook? Do you think Nick Sirianni has a playbook? I mean,
his playbook has 3 plays in it.
Right.
Jalen Hurts keeper, Saquon left, Saquon right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yes, but I also will say, like, other than a literal couple times, the Chiefs had the best pass protection they had, I believe, all
season.
With Tony at left tackle.
I know.
And all Patrick had to go do back was drop back, have a read, and make a play. And it was, like, so much easier. Like, we really moved the ball. If it hadn't been for that turnover, I mean.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Now, so, Lou, they did say Mahomes had his fastest average time to release all year in that game. So he was not giving them a chance to get sacked.
But he also had a clean pocket before he was thrown.
Yeah, he didn't get hit much.
No, he had as offensive efficiency numbers, he had his like the best of his career Like it may not translate, but if you look at like the advanced offensive stats, this was one of the top 3 games of the entire year for any quarterback.
Yep.
Like, and it was one of his absolute best of his entire career. It doesn't look like it, but
insane.
He actually did have he played a perfect game, and the Bills didn't, and that was like. But then again, the funny part is the average like points per drive. The Bills had the exact same points per drives. The Chiefs just had one more. That's it.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
The difference of the game.
And,
it was one more drive.
But if you look at those plays I was telling you about, like the formation that they lined up in with the 2 backs, where one time they ran the ball to the left with Hunt,
Kareem, yep,
right
on the touchdown,
and they scored a touchdown. And then the other time they faked running the ball to Kareem on the left, and Patty kept it and ran right and scored a touchdown. They scored on that play 2 touchdowns out of that formation, a formation that the Bills hadn't seen. And all of the Bills players were like, that was not on tape.
Yep.
That was not on tape.
Good
like
playoff,
to have
playoff
the balls to put a play in and not only call it once in a playoff game that's critical that your offense is not used to running, but to call it twice with a variation is just like, you just don't see that. That is like, I wish people would appreciate. You
saw Corn Dog or whatever it was called,
right,
a couple of years ago, right? And they scored on that twice in the same game.
Yeah. You're right.
In the Super Bowl. So Andy Reid's the master at finding a weakness and exposing it.
Yeah, they do the cool play and reverse it.
Yeah.
I want to point out a couple things that the game that I really took away that was not. It's not all about stupid calls and all this dumb stuff and all the stuff that's all over the social media, but we won a good game against a really good team without Kelsey. 2 for 19. He had the drop. The other thing is he never doesn't get a lot of talk, even though he keeps doing it the entire second half of the season. Xavier Worthy, 6 for 85. Ooh. I mean, he's totally fallen into the Rashee Rice role.
He is.
And is killing it. Like not dropping a beat at all. And then lastly, the third player I want to highlight that just seems to come up randomly, Juju.
Yes.
Where on earth did he come from? And he has 2 of the biggest plays of the game. One in particular, obviously.
I kind of forgot he was on the team.
That's my point. Like, it's like, where did this come from? But he has a 31-yard and a 29-yard reception for Juju.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that's pretty good.
By the way, on that first throw to Juju, I would encourage the Shrewdness listeners to go back and look at that throw and appreciate how incredible that throw was. People don't understand like how difficult a degree that throw was.
That throwing across
Mahomes
his body?
had to throw it over the linebacker into the seam that Juju was running into with a guy, not bad coverage. Like it was an incredible throw.
Oh yeah, that was, yep.
And like everyone talks about Mahomes has lost his deep ball accuracy, and I agree he hasn't thrown as accurately deep as he has in the past. But God, if there's definition of clutch, it's got it's amazing what he does in these games.
That was a dart for 15 yards or something, and then Juju did the rest. But I agree. I saw the replay and I was like, ooh, why did he throw that?
Like it was tight. That window was tight.
Yep.
Like amazing. Well, let's talk about.
I heard one more thing I wanted to mention real quick. I thought this was really cool. Was after all the confetti had dropped and all the fans had left and whatever, Chiefs were, wandering back to the locker room or whatever. The last guy on the field was Kareem Hunt.
Oh, wow.
And which I thought was very cool.
That is cool.
Andy Reid got asked about it after the game. He's like, I thought he still had something left. We brought him back. He'd changed his ways and whatever. And he was full on appreciation mode after that game.
Good on him.
Yeah,
the Chiefs brought him back.
Again,
that was really cool.
I want to bring up my hot take on Kareem Hunt.
Let's do it, Lou. I knew you'd go with this.
Lou.
Let's do it.
I mean, honestly, so you have to do a little bit of reverse engineering history. And the problem with this theory is that if we had kept Sutton over Spags, I think we all have come to realize
it's a massive change.
So in this theoretical constructed world,
yes,
Kareem Hunt does not get into the legal trouble that he got into and does not get suspended and cut from the team in 2018. 18. Was it 19? It was the 18 season, 19 Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, because they won the 2020 Super Bowl. Yeah, so it was the 19. 19 is when the Patriots beat the Rams. Because they got the D Ford game / Chris Jones. Whatever.
Where we should have been in that Super Bowl too.
But you cannot convince me, and if we'd had Kareem Hunt in that game, we win that game because it was so tight. Right, and if you would just add back in a dominant, the best running back in the league when he was cut from the team, we win that game. It was too tight for us not to win it. All right, and if we win that game, we were beating that ratty ass Rams team.
Totally.
They were a shell of themselves, and we had taken their heart when we played the most amazing game in the history of football game.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Which was.
50 to 49 or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever the insane 50.
Awesome.
And if there was 2 seconds on the clock, somebody was probably still going to score a touchdown. It was the craziest game I ever watched.
Yeah.
But their heart got stolen after the game, and they were never the same ever afterwards, and we absolutely would have beaten them. But let's say in that theoretical world, he plays, we win that game, we're winning that Super Bowl. And then, because Andy Reid's proactive, he still fires Sutton and hires Spags.
Which never happens, by the way.
Which probably wouldn't happen. Sutton is because Sutton wins the Super Bowl, he gets a ring, and then Andy's a very loyal guy, and he keeps him. But we're going with we still win the rest of the Super Bowls that we would have otherwise won.
Right.
But we have Kareem Hunt, who battles through a career with the Chiefs on a Super Bowl winning team, who wins 3 or 4 Super Bowls, depending upon how you want to look at things.
Yeah.
And he wins all that. He's going to have 10,000 yards conservatively over that time.
Right.
Barring injury. Right?
Right.
He has an easy Emmitt Smith case into the Hall of Fame. And I think he would have been a Hall of Famer if he had not gotten in trouble and the Chiefs had the success that they had.
That's an interesting take, I will say.
Now, he is not a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
Lots of people are like, oh my God, Kareem Hunt's not a Hall of Famer. What's wrong with you? Of course he's not a Hall of Famer. But in this theoretical world where he is a Super Bowl, the primary running back on a team that wins 4 Super Bowls.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, can you make the same argument? Could you make the same argument for Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill might be anyways.
Yeah, he might be anyways.
He might be anyways, but he for
he
sure is if he stays on the Chiefs. He is
1,000% with 3 rings. Please.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think when we talked about earlier, Pat Mahomes isn't as good on his deep ball. When you have Tyreek Hill in his prime, he can make you look really good on a deep ball.
That's exactly right.
Which is what Tom Brady realized when Randy Moss came over after a few years. Like, holy crap. And then he broke all the records. Weird.
Yep.
All the wide receiver records.
That's all well and good.
Records. Undefeated, almost.
But Tyreek Hill became Karlaftis and Trent McDuffie, right? Did I get my math right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
I think you're right. And if not, it's something like that. We got some good stuff for him.
I mean, Trent McDuffie in his prime may be as good as on the other side of the ball, and then Karlaftis is I love him. I mean,
blooming star right now.
Love that dude.
George, his freaking motor always runs. He never stops.
He's
he
exactly may not be what Chris Jones needed.
Yeah. Just a wind-up toy to go next to him, and then Chris Jones just does his own thing.
Insane tenacity, just always after the ball.
And he was the one that made the last play of the game. Really? Karlaftis got in there, applied the pressure. And also, and here's what I pointed out to my kids, is like, do you see that he hit him and then immediately got off so he wouldn't screw his team with a 15-yard penalty of driving into the ground, which you know he wanted to do?
You know he wanted to do.
He's so smart. He hit him and rolled off.
He did.
You do the hit, no controversy whatsoever.
Right.
And I was like, that is a brilliant, brilliant play. That's no one's even really going to say. Just like, oh, you put pressure on.
Very smart.
But he also didn't spear his ass in the ground, which all these other toolboxes do.
That's
and cost their team the game. That would have been an automatic first down, 15 yards.
That would have cost.
We may not be talking about the same stuff we are.
Yeah, it would have cost the game because Josh Allen. I will say this to his credit, he played an elite level of quarterback that game.
Again.
Outside of the stupid calls that were made for him to sneak the ball, he played an elite level of quarterback. The first drive, he looked nervous and looked bad in that first drive.
He almost threw
outside
2 picks.
Of that, that last play, like that is a Mahomes throw that he made.
Yeah.
A guy bearing down. He gave a guy a chance to catch the ball.
Probably
should have
been caught. Probably
It was
should
a
have been
tough
caught.
catch, though. Everybody keeps saying how it should have been caught. He ran past it, and then it was behind him, and he had to
It was a
dive
tough catch.
backwards.
As someone who had Dalton Kincaid in a keeper league, not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good,
I'm
but
just
that's
saying-
asking a lot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean,
The Mark Andrews one should have
definitely.
been caught.
Yes, exactly right. Definitely a
Oh,
tougher
that
catch than the Mark
Definitely should
Andrews.
have been caught.
And it would have, I mean, it was just as big of a potential catch, too. That would have put him in field goal range to tie it up and all that. But
For
got a question. I know that I'm somewhat biased, but I'd like some honest reaction, like just thought and just kind of reconstruct your brain. How could you have compared to, of course, in the past, like, had we lost that game, how devastating would it have been on a scale of 1 to 10?
So what's a 5? Give me a 5, Lou.
Like,
Trouble
I don't
getting
know.
out of bed
The
next
problem is that
morning.
we've had shifting. That's what I'm trying to get to is exactly that. Is that we've had shifting expectation sets. Like
Yes.
Lynn Elliott was a 10.
For sure it was.
Yeah,
Like, I
Is
felt like
Lynn
my heart-
Elliott a 10 anymore?
I
Like-
felt like my heart was ripped from
Right.
my body.
But now it's like now that I've actually had real success, it's like,
Yes.
was that really that bad of a loss? Because I don't know, that
Well,
team was
Right.
flawed. And
but it's when you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
ever get over the hump, and that's what costs you
Totally.
the hump. Like
Yeah.
Gary Anderson's, like that's their Super Bowl,
That's
and then
it.
you
Yes.
lose, you don't
But
get a chance.
if we'd have
Yes.
lost that game, I know that I had reconciled myself to like, man, that's a good team. There's a good chance we could lose.
Totally.
And if we lose,
Yeah.
I probably would have been okay. 2 years
Yeah,
ago,
it
I
would've
wouldn't
been-
have
it
been
would've been
okay.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're
I
right.
think it
but
would have
the
been
thing
a
is,
3 for me.
yeah, I was
would've
going
been
to say
5 or below
3.
because great season, great whatever else. And at the end of the day, I feel very confident we're going to be playing meaningful games in January next year again.
Yeah.
Totally.
And yeah,
Now-
anything can happen. I got it.
Yep.
But do I think Pat Mahomes is going to jump off a cliff and
Right.
suck next year? Nope.
Right. No.
Andy Reid suck?
So-
Nope.
It's
So
just
that's
fascinating
that's
to me that
Chiefs
we,
versus Buffalo. What about if Chiefs lose to Houston last week?
Ooh, that's
Well, that
different.
would have sucked.
that would have
Right.
felt like
'Cause they're
old
not
school
good
Chiefs. Me texting, I've read this
Yeah.
book before. Rah, 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 this
Right.
sucks.
That was from
So
the
the
Chiefs
difference-
desert.
The difference for me is that number one, the Chiefs are a clearly superior team.
Yes.
There's 3 great teams in the AFC.
Yes.
We were going to have to play one of them,
And it's not
and we
Houston.
did, and we snuck by. But yeah, Houston was not as good of a team, and it wasn't the AFC Championship game. I feel
That's
like
right.
once we get to the AFC Championship, it's kind of like getting to the finals in Gio. Like there's only good teams left,
Yes.
and anything could happen.
Yep.
Here's the
problem,
thing.
So-
though.
I still think I would have rather faced the Ravens. Like, I know that everybody was like, "Oh my God, the Ravens have an historic DVOA, and they're probably the best team in the history of the planet Earth, and all this stuff." And it's like, I just have a hard time getting like scared of the Ravens. I just
Yeah.
do.
I
No,
am
I get it.
completely with you.
I'm way more afraid of Josh Allen.
Way more.
The-
Like
the-
even
the
though,
throw
even
to,
though he's like the only guy. Like you look at if you look at the rest of the Ravens roster, absolutely they're way scarier. But like just Josh Allen because he's got that thing. I don't like some people. I like Josh Allen. I don't like Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow's got the thing.
Yeah,
So
he's
Joe
got
Burrow and Josh Allen have the thing. They have
Yeah.
the Mahomes thing where it's like I could pull monkeys out of my butt at any time and have them unleash upon you, and it's like, oh my God, like that could happen. Lamar doesn't
Yep.
have the thing.
No, that's
Yeah.
what I think. No. He showed he had that thing all year. He doesn't have that thing against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
look at that Cincinnati
Yeah.
game earlier this year when he had the sack leader in the NFL. He stiff-armed like the guy weighed 3 pounds
True.
and then threw across his body for a touchdown with like 3 seconds
True.
left to go
That's
to
fair.
overtime.
But
I
like
think
his
he's got it,
kryptonite.
but he's never really had it against the Chiefs. I mean, he's
Ever.
had some close moments, and he took heroics one time to beat the Chiefs one time in the Patrick Mahomes era, one time.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Right? Josh Allen beats us regularly. It
Yeah.
happens regularly. Joe Burrow.
The throw
Used to
from
be this way.
Allen to Mac Hollins.
Oh,
You know,
that was
like
a beautiful throw.
3 inches over McDuffie's SWAT attempt.
That was a stupid.
I was like,
defense.
that is a perfect throw.
That was
Yeah.
a stupid throw.
Can't
Congrats
get
to
back
you.
either. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the it factor. And I think Burrow's got
Right.
that too. And that would have
He
been Jamar
does.
Chase. Would have been Cincinnati.
And neither
Yeah.
of them are afraid of that moment. The thing with Lamar, I think when he plays the Chiefs, there's a little afraid. I mean, there's a little like I need to do well here, and it's not like going into the game like confident. Like Josh Allen, I think goes into the game confident. I think Joe Burrow goes into the game confident. They win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that's a different approach.
I think what Mahomes
than-
does is he gets in your head and says, "I have to play perfect to
that's
win."
what I think.
And then you
I
get
don't-
in your own head, and then you mess up.
I just
That's
feel
right.
like I've never seen the Ravens play the Chiefs where they haven't just peed down their leg.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
every time they get there and they're just that excited dog that's like, I got this. And then they go to the door and the new person walks in and it's like, oh God, no, I don't got it. Sorry,
Why are
guys.
you making fun of my dog, Lou? Rest in
That's
peace,
so
Josh.
true. That's so true, though.
But that,
They're
I just,
slapping the
It's-
tail
they're
in
so
it.
good. They're so good, but then they play the Chiefs and it's just like, it's really, I mean, but the Bills
Right.
just don't do that. Like
No.
it's miserable.
Ever.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
never an easy game with the Bills. Never. And you know,
That's
other
a
thing
lot
we
of
can
that's
talk
coaching,
about-
I think, going back to the McDermott versus
100%.
the rest of the league. I mean, you got a couple of elite coaches there,
Well,
and you
look
knew it
at-
was going to be a dogfight before the game
let's
started.
talk about the Spags factor here too. So,
Oh, he's not getting hired, and I love it. I love it that he got some charity interviews, but he ain't getting hired. That's the
well,
best.
you heard what Chris Jones said, which I love. Good on Chris Jones. Hey, nobody hired him. We'll just keep winning. Go for it. Don't hire him. We'll win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Thanks.
as long as you don't hire him, we're gonna win. And he's right.
I cannot
He's
remember
right. to.
which commentator I was listening to. It was on SVP, but I don't think it was SVP saying it. But he's like, the thing with Spags is he's got a good defense all the time, but he calls the game-winning play.
Yes.
And that's what they did again. And they analyzed it, and they said, this is a look they
Totally.
showed all game. But this game, on this play, the last one of the game, they had the dude run around the side that
You
he
broke
didn't do the
tendency.
rest of the game. So that's what he does. He
Just
he
jab,
draws up
jab, jab,
game
jab,
win.
jab, jab, jab.
Boom. But he does it
Right across.
Like it's a key moment. And the thing is, like he called the right play. They highlighted this too. Like when the Bills won earlier this season, he dialed up the right play. Just Josh
Yes.
Allen single-handedly beat it by running
Yeah.
away from the guy he shouldn't have.
That's right.
And so that's what Spags does. And I think
Yeah.
that's what I don't know if every defensive coordinator has that. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be.
God no.
but he
We've
does.
seen so many of them that don't.
That's exactly
Like-
what my point is. Like he's got the it factor as a stupid coordinator. It's
Right.
unbelievable.
He's
And
the
I hope that-
first defensive coordinator to even get to 3 Super Bowls or something like
Yes.
that, right?
Yeah.
And,
And
this is his
I
5th or something.
Would
Yeah.
not doubt he breaks the Hall of Fame's no assistant coordinators. They
He's
just have
got
never
to.
done it. They've just
Yeah.
never done it, but he's just going
Yeah.
to be so
He's gonna-
impressive.
He's going to
How
put
could
so
you
much tape
not?
up there. They have to.
how could you
Yeah.
not? And the thing of it is, like, this is the way I would put it to you guys. Let's take a survey. Lewis, let's pretend your alternate universe changes in this way. Kareem Hunt stays, and they still lose that game anyway. But we don't fire Bob Sutton, and we've got Sutton for these last 5 years. How many Super Bowls do the Chiefs win with Bob Sutton?
I can't see it. Everything was so poorly organized, put together. He had talent, and it just was misused every
Yeah.
step of the way. I don't know how Patrick Mahomes. Because we've seen how like razor thin your margins are.
Yes.
I don't see how they could have possibly done it while, not having a defense that over time has just done this. While our offense has also done this, but it's like they've been able to balance not being able to be as explosive on offense with it's just I don't see
I
how
think-
they could have won another one. They probably wouldn't have won
Yeah,
one.
I think they win 1 when they still had Tyreek and all that. Just a high-powered offense, and it's Mahomes.
Just outscore people that
Yeah,
year,
but
maybe.
Yeah.
but I agree, Lou. I think it's so razor thin that you can't be that unbalanced and have continued success.
Nope.
You gotta have
What do you
gotta have
think, Dex?
something on
One?
both sides as well.
Yeah, Sutton, I agree. He didn't have a tight ship. Like he
Uh-uh.
did not make the sum of the parts better, right? So
No.
he didn't get the most out of it, and whatever the schemes he did, he didn't call game-winning plays.
He was reviled. Everybody hated him for wasting a great Patrick Mahomes, and in the moment, everybody hated him.
Yeah. Well,
and I didn't like the Spags hire. I'm like, this guy is a failure. Like, remember, he was like a failure Giants coach. I'm like, who is this guy? What? Andy Reid's so loyal to people he knows.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be a disaster.
Was he the Rams coach? Because he won the Super Bowl with the Giants. That's the thing. So he beat Tom Brady with the Giants.
And then he went to the Rams coach, and he failed horribly.
Yeah, then he went to the Rams.
I thought he was Giants head coach.
No, he was their coordinator and then got hired to the Rams.
He won the Super Bowl with the
and it was actually the St. Louis Rams then, right? Last week, Lou, I called the stupid Rams St. Louis so many stupid times because I watched the game in St. Louis. And I even fixed it once, and then later I called him St. Louis again. I'm like, good Lord.
It was crazy.
He fixed St. Louis Rams, or he fixed it from St. Louis to LA Rams, and then he said Redskins, and then fixed it.
That's right. Date myself. All right, we digress. We're getting off.
Yeah, so I do think that what they've done on defense, and now that's correct.
Ages 50, 51, and 52, head coach for the St. Louis Rams.
Okay, so he was there for 2 seasons at least.
Yeah.
He was the interim head coach for the New York Giants. He got the interim. Okay. He was out of coaching for a year after he got that interim head coaching job, got axed, was out for a full year, did not coach in 2018, and then wins a Super Bowl in 2019 after a year off.
No way.
With brand new personnel, brand new everything.
And he did. That was against Brady, right? So that's the thing. So when you look at his hardware, he beat Brady before he went to Tampa. I think it was wasn't it?
No, 2019 was the 49ers. It's crazy. It's 49ers, then Tampa Bay, but then Eagles, and then 49ers,
then Eagles. But he's saying with the Giants. Dex is saying with the Giants. Did he get
when he's with the defense coordinator with the Giants.
I think he did beat Brady.
I think so too. I mean, it's a safe bet because Brady was in the Super Bowl 80% of the time.
What year did they win their Super Bowl?
What year did Spags win his Super Bowl?
I mean, it's just the Giants. They went twice and they won it from the 6th seed both times.
He was the defensive coordinator for 15, 16. 15 was Denver, right? Yeah, 15 was Denver. 16 was the Seahawks.
Maybe it was 2012.
Yeah, because he was coaching the Ravens in 14. He was a secondary coach for the Ravens. So, yeah, he got the defensive coordinator job in 15. So, yeah, no, he didn't get either of those wins with the Giants versus the
Ravens. Here's a question for you. A couple trivia questions for you. How old is Steve Spagnuolo? Anyone?
I know.
Okay,
let's go with
I've got his page open, so I know.
54, I don't know.
62.
I said he coached the Rams at ages 50, 51, and 52. So
65. Okay, yeah. He's 65.
I wasn't actively listening, Lou. My bad.
That's old for a coach. Now, here's the other fun fact. How tall is Steve Spagnuolo?
What are you getting onto his height for?
I'm just saying. It was
he's probably
5'8". 5'8". Yeah.
5'7".
Wow.
I did not expect that. I had him pictured bigger. I did. Not gonna lie.
Can you imagine him getting in Chris Jones's face?
Right.
He'd need a step ladder.
Bench.
Yeah, right. He's got to take a step ladder to get on him. I mean, but he is the best thing that could have happened to Andy Reid. I will say this though: do people say that the Chiefs' offense has been down? I know statistically it's been down. Do you guys not feel like some of this is just Andy Reid, cat mouse, how he's playing?
Oh, totally.
Like, they put up 30 points for the first time this year against the Bills. Like, that's the best team they played.
In the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
And they put up more points than they put up all season.
And we had another opportunity except for that fumble.
Totally.
And the first drive
which wasn't Mahomes' fault. That was Patty's fault. And he rarely makes those mistakes, but that was his fault on that for sure.
Oh,
it was weird. It really felt like they could move the ball on the Bills. But I also I think I said this. I watch a lot of the Bills, and the Bills were snot and shoelaces, and then their best cornerback went down.
Exactly.
So, and that's why this is the first year I have given McDermott credit for being a really good coach in years. And I watch a lot of the Bills because I just don't think he's a great coach.
Why not? What don't you like about Sean McDermott?
His tactical in-game decisions are dicey at best. But what he did this year with... I
think he didn't make any mistakes this game.
Oh, he took...
What?
He took the points off the board. Don't ever take the points off the board. Took the points off the board on the extra point. Didn't get the 2. Then he went for 2 again. So he left 3. That was 3 points right there.
But neither one of those felt like Dan Campbell risks. They felt like...
No. They're not that level.
I was actually kind of fine with it.
What I was impressed with is that he did not have the personnel. He was there were many pundits who were saying that their defense had taken a huge step back and it was going to be a real problem and it was potentially going to cost them the AFC East. And they put together credible and intermittently dominant performances defensively over the course of the year.
They did.
With just hiding their badness on defense and scheme. That was what was impressive. The problem is they ran into is that they just had their talent was so hurt, and they could only scheme so much against the most amazing schemer of all time. Who was
I think there's some of this is like the Josh Allen covers a multitude of sins too. I think Josh is one of those guys that you could put mediocre talent around, similar to Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to win games. They took a step down in wide receiver, right? Would we say? Would we agree? Their wide receivers took a step down. Their defense took a step down.
Keon Coleman did not have that breakout year that they'd kind of hoped for, I believe. But I do believe Mac Hollins was probably equivalent to Gabe Davis.
I think so,
that's probably right.
Yeah.
That's probably right. I think
with shoes. Even with
But isn't there something about McDermott, and I have no way to describe this, but McDermott to me, we were talking about quarterbacks that have the it factor. I saw a guy tweet this, and I kind of agree. When you look at McDermott on the sideline, he just doesn't look like that guy. And there's something in his eye to me that looks like unsure, not quite confident about what's going on, a little bit behind, a little bit I'm going to throw the red flag a little bit late.
So he's the
I'm not
Penn
really
State
sure
coach.
what I want to do. He's just a little off. Just a little off that I wouldn't be inspired by him as a head coach. Whereas I look at guys like McVay, right? When I see that guy, I'm like, that guy's gonna win. He just has this feel about him that's
he's got the charisma.
It's like there's something to it, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. No, there's something to it.
There's something there for sure.
Not that McDermott's a bad coach. I don't think he's a bad coach.
McVay is so intense. He's got an assistant that keeps him from running on the field. His job is to keep him off of the field.
Yeah,
true.
Would you say Tony Dungy inspires
that's a great
it factor and meanness, and that dude won a Super Bowl?
That's a great point. I wouldn't have thought that Dungy has that. He didn't have that aura about him on the sideline.
No, but it's
so. Yeah, I think it could happen. I could see McDermott winning Super Bowl. And I'm the first to say, Lewis, you were saying, how bad is this loss if you rank 1 to 10? Now ask a Bills fan. That had to be a 10.
Oh,
but the problem is that there's been multiple 10s. That's the issue. They've been having to deal with that 13-second game. I promise you is
oh my gosh,
a 10.5 or an 11 on a 10.
It's an 11. It's an 11. If you could have an 11.
I felt bad for Bills fans after that game. I felt like we absolutely escaped with that one, and what a fantastic win.
Question. I want hardcore shrewdness prediction. You guys are going to love this. You ready? I want it. Next year, Remigio is where?
Ooh.
Chisholm.
He's on the Chiefs. He's on the Chiefs. He's the kick returner.
He makes the opening day roster.
Yeah. I think he does.
I think he's earned his way up to it. I mean, the plays he made under the pressure he did, I was kind of nervous. I didn't really want him to run a couple of those out. And then he took a 65-yarder. Woo, that worked out. But I'm always terrified.
He was our only offensive weapon in that Denver game.
Yeah.
It was it. It was Remigio, and that was the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, he went practice squad all the way till the last month.
Man,
Right?
I'm getting.
Yeah.
What was that guy we had who was pretty good and went to the Bears on a decent contract? He played at K-State.
Oh, yeah.
That's my vibes with him. That everybody was kind of like, yeah, he's pretty good, but it was kind of like a little bit of a Patrick Mahomes even better, except for, I don't know, we haven't really seen Patrick Mahomes play with Remigio. I think it's a real thing. I think they let D-Hop go. And
yeah,
I was going to ask.
D-Hop's a rental.
I mean, it's Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Worthy, and Remigio. Those are your top 4 next year.
Maybe
Justin Watson.
Watson always seems to come in because he makes some plays.
Patrick Trust.
You're getting Byron Pringle.
Byron Pringle, that's it, yes. I'm getting Byron Pringle vibes. Byron Pringle was fun.
I love Pringle, man. That dude was
a great name.
I thought he was
Byron Pringle.
I thought he was good.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I think D-Hop's a rental. Juju's a rental.
Yeah,
Juju's gone. D-Hop's gone.
You got 3 or 4 that'll be back for sure.
I mean, your top 3 next year, right? Are who?
Hollywood, Rice, and Worthy.
Yeah, Worthy showed it. He had enough.
Yeah, that's right. That's Hollywood, Rice, and Worthy. That's a pretty good and you gotta have McCole Hardman on the team because he's won 18 Super Bowls. So he's like number 5. McCole Hardman's like the most decorated wide receiver in Super Bowl history.
So you don't think
most decorated wide receiver 5 you've ever seen.
Hall of Famer.
You don't think Hopkins says, I don't care. I'll take
$10.
I'll take a tiny pay, whatever. I'll take whatever league minimum.
League minimum.
I don't think he's going to get more than league minimum after what he's shown this year.
Here's the deal. I don't think he does that if he wins this one. If he wins this one, I think he tries to get as much money as he can before he breaks. Yeah. Right? But if he doesn't win, if we lose the Eagles, I can see him doing that, Lou.
I kind of feel like it's the opposite. I feel like if he doesn't win, he just cashes in. I feel like if he wins, he's like, okay, again, if you get 2 rings with the rest of his hardware, the rest of his stats, he's wearing a gold jacket.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is right now. And Super Bowl would help.
Pace for it, but he just had some
injuries.
Great recent
seasons. Hitting that wide receiver cliff, right?
And you just can't go to Tennessee either.
No.
I mean, that's where they go to die.
That's right.
And he could have gone to the Chiefs.
Yep. Yes, that was a bad move on his part at that point in time. But
he's like, I think I like this Will Levis.
This dude can chuck it.
And look at him, he's doing
look how he does the splits.
Doing splits with a yogurt. This guy's great. Oh my god!
All right. Any other final thoughts on last week's game? We're not gonna go too much into the Super Bowl matchup. We'll do that next week.
Yeah.
But any other kind of closing thoughts on the
last thing I want to say is, how good is Joe Thuney?
Yeah, amazing.
Like he's an incredible guard. I just can't even imagine any other team being like, you know what? We're gonna take our guard. We're going to open up this spot and put somebody else in there and hope that they're as good. And then we're going to move this guy over to the left side, which is the hardest position in football, to play as lineman, and just throw him out there. He'll be good. And for him to do it, he did better than any left guard all this season, I think.
Left tackle, yeah. I mean,
left tackle.
I can't believe it worked.
Me either.
Yeah.
That's more where I'm at. Those are totally different positions.
It did not work against the Houston Texans.
No,
it was not working. That was where we were struggling a little bit. Was that we could not stop.
So, do you guys think that's the play against the Eagles?
We'll talk about that next week. Don't suck up our content for Super Bowl preview week.
Well, here's my other question then. Where's our other? So Wanya Morris wasn't active in that game. They literally said hell could freeze over and Wanya Morris is not coming into this game. Like that's how anti they were. So. If Thuney goes down in that game, is it Kingsley?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Or is it who's the guy that we signed that played 5 seconds and I haven't seen since?
The guy I'm blanking on his name.
DJ
Howard?
Humphreys or something like
Yeah,
that.
Humphreys,
Humphreys, yeah.
DJ Tanner, or what was his name?
Tannenbaum?
DJ Humphreys. What happened to that guy? Where's
I don't know.
Humphreys?
I don't even know.
Isn't he supposed to be the left tackle? What happened to Humphreys?
He probably tweaked a calf or something.
I mean, seriously, didn't he play like a quarter or something? And then all of a
And he
sudden,
got
it was
hurt.
like, where'd he go?
Like he played for a minute and then got hurt again.
Did,
I didn't think he'd be out for a month though.
so there was one chink in the armor the whole night, I think, on the offensive line. It was the play that Caliendo kind of got off balance somehow.
Where he
And
got
He
thrown.
just got
Got-
bull rushed.
Got picked up. 320-pound dude got picked up and carried into Patrick. I was like, that is impressive, dude.
Yeah. For one to
That
be able
is
to pick
some-
up a 300-pound human and just when he doesn't want to be picked up, is
Dude, that was
I would also
incredible.
like to shout out to Turk Wharton, the only dude in the league from my alma mater, and his
Yes.
massive arms.
Dude, that dude
He
has
like-
the biggest arms I've ever seen.
He
I
like
didn't realize that.
flexed after he,
Oh my
had
god, it
the
was
sack.
enormous.
and I was like, that looks like you have two arms put together.
For one.
Like just, this was
It was
his
insane.
bicep, and I was like, that is a ridiculous bicep.
Oh, that was he's enormous. I didn't realize how big they were until you started doing that, and I was like, holy crap, he's
Yeah.
huge.
yeah.
So DJ Humphreys is not on the injury report. So
Oh, he's not?
like
I don't know then.
He's hanging out with Clyde Allaire.
he just
No,
sucks,
he's in a different
evidently.
team at least.
Like evidently DJ Humphreys just sucks is what happened. Like we signed a guy who had an ACL and then we hoped he would come back and he's just not gonna
He's
be
not
able to
ready.
come back.
Yeah.
He's a Madden 40. We don't want that.
And against the Eagles that would be not good.
And we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
We just quick summary for our playoff bets. We end up 9-3. Last week we went 2-2.
Not bad. 9-3 on the playoffs is great.
Great.
Yep.
So we hit well in the Chiefs game. So we got the Chiefs -2 and the over. We missed in that Washington Philly game, which really got off script. And I'm with Lou. I think the other 9 times we're probably pretty close on that one. But that was the game where everything went wrong, and it did. 3 fumbles.
Yeah,
everything
lost.
went wrong.
Every single one was lost, and then a
Oof.
pick.
That was
So
rough.
is what
on the
it is.
season, we kind of salvaged our betting for the season.
Yeah, what'd that bring us to, bro?
44, 45, and 1. We only had one push the whole season.
So
That's kind of amazing.
we get to
Yeah.
even on the Super Bowl.
So we
Yep.
we nail our pick. I wonder what it might be next week.
Hmm.
I mean, the fix is in. I'm putting my whole house on it, obviously.
Why not? It's
So-
that
obviously
would
rigged.
that would bring us back to 50% on the year.
Yeah,
So
preview. I'm having. I would still want to talk about it.
Yep, that's next week. Next week.
next
All
week's
right.
podcast. All right,
All right.
I'm gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
We got a full slate to talk about. We can go for hours on Super Bowl preview next week, and we might.
Can we?
But for
Yeah.
But
That's
for
right.
tonight, that's the show. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your support, and we hope you'll tune in again next week as we
Like, comment,
the-
follow.
root the Chiefs on to victory for a third year in a row.
We don't have to worry about it because it's rigged.
I'm betting the house.
Oh yeah, we're not still recording, right? Because we got to make
We
sure
are.
put that
We are.
that
We
place
are.
where we send
We are
all the
still
money
recording.
so that we can make sure we win. We got to make sure we get that only on the private server.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Patreon on our Patreon.
For sure.
Yeah. Luckily,
Oh,
we
no,
stopped,
no,
luckily
no,
we
wait.
stopped recording
Wait,
because that.
accidentally.
Oh
no.
wait,
For the Patreon listeners, that's where we need to put that.
yeah.
Yeah, where you drop the bag for the Chiefs Super Bowl.
That's right.
That's right. Give it right back.
All right, reeling us back in. This is the Shrewdness Podcast signing off. Thanks again for your support. We'll see you next time.